We're live. Welcome back. Episode 11. I'm your DM, Dave. We're going to go around. We have a new face today. He is our best friend, Andrew. He is a door-to-door gold salesman. Andrew, say hello to everybody.
Hi, how are you guys doing? Thanks for having me on. I'm very excited for today's session.
Couldn't be more robotic. Mike, let's do it. Let's do it better.
Not in a job interview, mate.
No. Oh, me?
Oh, yeah, you.
What's up, guys? Bliss here. Super excited for today because now we finally get to figure out what's going on with this second temple. What's up with that?
All right. That sucked, too. Nick Palmer, what about you? Let's see if we can do better.
Dude, this temple. Yeah, no, actually, I really enjoyed our energy last session, and I'm down to see what's this giant rotating dwarven god man who sounds like whatever that dude from Hellboy is, but I can't think of it right now. Franz, the guy in the fish or whatever. But yeah, no, it's getting it's cooking up, man, and can't wait to see what our guest Andy Rue does with his time here.
You suck, too. Dylan.
What? A second temple? I wonder what's gonna happen, guys.
I wish I had one of those, like, who's that, the asshole from that show where they all dance? And he hits the button and then...
stars.
Yeah, what was his name?
Simon?
I don't know.
Gordon Ramsay.
Mike reminded me of like an edgier host for the Temple show on Nickelodeon. What was it? Where they like
Legendary
Temple?
Yeah.
Ash, what about you? How are you gonna do?
How am I gonna do? I don't know. Whatever you throw at Zula Fern, we'll figure it out tonight. Hopefully, can get some of my healing back to heal everyone.
We'll see about that, but it probably won't happen. And last but not least, Nick.
I'm excited to see what you have in store for us. I mean, the second temple, we got these cloaked figures, I think, walking around.
Potteress.
So, yeah, I'm excited to see what you have.
Could you do that like Mike did it though? That was way better.
Oh no!
Yay!
This is my energy for the night, Andrew.
That's... Mike amped me up, dude. Now I'm like, yeah, welcome back to the channel, dude. What is going on with that temple?
It's lo-fi vibes here, baby.
So I think that Andrew said that everybody look under your chairs. There is a solid gold bar for everybody under your chairs.
No, there's not.
Need to give that back.
Trade it all for a little XRP. I would trade this whole gold bar for just a smidgen.
A gold
of
bar
XRP.
worth of... Do you do that on your website? Do you just like exchange crypto for gold? Can you do
I am
that?
in no way associated with my employers in this account right now. Just want to put that out there. And no, absolutely not. Gold is a very fine investment, a good commodity to own. That's just my own personal opinion. So.
Sounds like alchemy to me. Destroy it.
I can make gnome
Anywho.
coin. You guys want to buy gnome coin?
Gnome coin. What is it? G-O...
It's on the Tinker Network. Instead of the
Imagine-
blockchain, it's a Tinker
A
Network.
currency that's bound between the weave of the world.
Yes. The transaction rates are phenomenal.
Sure.
Magical. Now, all right.
Jesus.
Do I have permission from my players to start?
Yep.
All right.
Let's do it.
Here we go. Last we left off, our I would even say now, friendly group of heroes, acquaintances now, just more than acquaintances. They navigated Whale Haven after that sudden attack from the Harpies, following Ofrig, the warden of the village, back to his quarters, back to the barracks. It's built into one of the large stone walls that surround Whale Haven. After a pretty comedic exchange between Nick and Ofrig, using his mask of many faces to take the identity of one of the guards and using his face, most likely got the guy in trouble by accepting a promotion and accepting orders to go back, but it's not being him. You guys go in there and you offer your services. You're asked to investigate what is happening, as the keys to the treasure room in the temple have been stolen. After a couple of minutes, as you're perusing around the office, you're investigating the scene where there's harpy feathers and a blood trail and different things knocked around the room. Ofrig, in his endless bouts of curiosity, pulls a book from one of the bookshelves and lifting an elk head that was mounted on the wall and exposing a cavity which you were able to pass through. This cavity led to a staircase that went down, 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 and a torch-lit hallway that was cleanly swept for past the wall and underneath the town. As you pass through, you encounter a puzzle of sorts with a gargoyle, two bowls, one of water, one of oil. You're able to successfully get past that. You hear the familiar voice of that vampire tavern owner speaking to another individual in the room, but you're unable to catch up with him at this point in time. As you continue to clear this hidden base of sorts, you find a torture room with several cell blocks and bodies stacked on top of one another. And one of them is Chief Ababu, the Bullywug witch doctor from the tribe that you've associated with before you came to the town, just breaths away from death. Due to a magical illusion, Bliss fell into a pit and was confronted with this stitched together monstrosity of body parts, and it attacked along with several other zombies that came around from the back. After the combat was said and done, you opened up a chest that was buried slightly in the mud down where this giant this flesh golem was located, opening up, revealing an archon, a messenger of the gods, dwarven gods of Mount Celestia. He's been bound there for an unknown amount of time. He just knows it's been dark. He's been there, he's been bound, and he doesn't seem to have that connection with his home plane. After that, you guys you work your ways back out, finding a trapdoor that goes up through a spiral staircase, and you come up outside of the walls of the city, but this time within a similarly laid out section of land where the temple from in the city seems to be the same temple as far as you can tell, but has degraded over time and has been destroyed. Being in the middle of the night, the sun is later in the evening. You decide to make camp, try to rest yourselves after a long adventuring day. Three of you do your rounds around the campsite to make sure that everything is safe, while the other three start pitching the tents and laying the bedrolls and things like that. The three that are searching the exterior of the town, or of the campsite, who were they? They were Bliss, Kashta, and Hope. Hope hears something. He presses his hand against Bliss's chest. He raises his ear to the silent woods, the shadows. Your eyes begin to focus to the darkness, and you can see several swaying figures just outside the campfire's light seem to be approaching. What do you guys do?
Whoa, hold up, get down. You see
What
that
do you see?
Those walking there, they look like they're walking towards us.
I mean, we still are a part of this temple. Maybe they're coming. They're coming for something. Maybe they're responsible for all this.
I'm not sure. I think we should go back and warn the others and prepare.
That'd be our best bet. But we have to come back. We gotta see what they're up to.
For sure.
The figures
We'll
begin to
head-
sway
we'll head
more
back.
and move their way closer towards the campsite.
Yeah, so we...
Need you three. I need you three to make a stealth check as you start leaving.
Hey,
That's an 8.
And the last one was Kashta. Can you roll for Kashta, Nick?
Sure. Um, 16.
Yeah. Gotcha. So you crouch down below the lower like bush cover, and you're starting to sway back and forth. And you're moving your way back. You're holding yourselves low to the ground, and you can hear these croaking sounds. Just start to grow louder and louder and louder and louder as these figures start to move closer. You're able to hug the darkness around the campsite and come back to the camp where you see Orin, Zula, and Yorig around a campfire, and they're beginning to cut up and cook some small game.
There's people approaching. Best say we either hide or prepare.
Orin immediately grabs out his axe and starts just like bearing, attack mode.
Who's coming?
I'm not sure they were cloaked. How many were there?
Several. 4 or 5 maybe.
4 or 5 maybe.
Dave, you said we heard croaks.
Croaking. Yep, and it's growing
Watching
loud.
them walk, is their walking style familiar to what we have seen with the frog
Yes.
people? Alright. And we still have Chief Ababu. Dude. Hope, I think they're coming for the chief. I think we're good. We saved him from good health. It's fair trade, one-on-one. They should help us out.
They're gonna think we
know.
beat him up, just like the other guy thought we killed the other person.
I was gonna
He's
say,
alive and well to tell.
I don't trust them. I don't trust them.
Okay. As you guys begin debating and talking back and forth, they break the bush line, and you can see the very familiar face of Rippet, the Bullywug veteran, and he's accompanied by 3 other Bullywugs of his warriors, and he has a man that's bound at the wrists and is being pulled on a rope.
Did you click somewhere on the map or show anybody? Because we're not on the same scene.
Stand
There
by.
we go. Yeah.
So, Rippet, he steps out of the bushes. He has these other Bullywugs with him that have this human male who's bound up and walking. He's beat up. He's dirty. Looks like he hasn't slept. They begin to approach the camp.
Orin just kind of stands like, goes up closer, not saying anything, but just holding his axe and just being the first line of defense. Again.
Okay. Bullywug, the Bullywug veteran.
I was gonna say Kosh. I'd imagine Kosh's character probably would have seen this and said and brought the whatchamacallit, the shaman up and brought him towards.
So-
I think that's
So,
within character.
Kashta comes back, and he helps Chief Ababu from the ground, and he stands him up, and he's kind of waving his hand, waving it down. Rippet, he reaches into his satchel, and he pulls out this bottle, and he pops the cork, he drinks it, and you see most of it's going down his gullet and his large bellow. He snorts. He says, "Chief, we've been looking for you." And then Chief Ababu, he's going back and forth. He's speaking in Bullywug. "So I can see, are you in good company here?" Right? And he's going back and forth. They're talking. The only people that can really understand now, it's kind of funny, where it's Kashta, who's wearing the cloak of the Bullywug, who's understanding him speak Bullywug, and then obviously Rippet just drank the potion that allowed him to speak Common. So he's speaking Common back and forth, and they're having this conversation. So Kashta steps in and says, talking about how they were split up after our departure, and Babu and the children were captured, and the women were taken away, and it seems that Rippet has some explaining to do as he chased these undead and vampires deeper out into the forest and left their camp undefended. So he explains that to you. Rippet just pulls the chain over, and he explains, took us forever to catch this one. I suppose you're gonna want to do a 1-for-1 again. Life for a life. Now, Andrew's character is pulled into the screen.
Dang, dude. The looker right there.
I'm sure I'm bound, right?
Yeah, you're
Am
bound.
I gagged?
You're not gagged.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, hi there, everybody. It's me.
I look down at Yorig, and I'm like, do you know him? And I look up at like Orin and Zula and Bliss. Do any of you know this man?
I don't know him.
Where'd he come from?
Aren't you guys from the town, Whalehaven?
I'm afraid not, mate.
I thought you were sent here after to retrieve me. No, that's not right.
Not by a long shot.
Not
I don't know
our
who
group.
you are, and I don't believe anyone knows you're missing.
I kind of look towards Ribbit, and I'm like, this is not 1-for-1. This is not a fair trade.
Listen, I caught him wandering out in our section of the valley. His fate is for that of the belly of Hemoth.
You're not a poacher, are you?
I'm sorry, what'd you ask?
You're not a poacher, are you?
No, I'm not a poacher at all. I'm a hunter. I'm from Whalehaven. I've been out for 3 days now in the wilderness trekking. And I just happened to come along. I didn't even see the trap. Wound up and snagged me leg and whipped me upwards. I didn't even realize what had happened till it was too late. So, yeah, I mean, your buddy was talking about 1-for-1. I'm a hell of a good 1-for-1. I don't know what the other one was, but I'm one of the one. So, if you want a one that's really good, you ought to take me.
Does
You
anyone know what this
wander
person's
into the woods.
saying?
I understand the Bullywugs better than I understand him.
Words fall from out like shit from ass with this guy.
Nah,
That's a little rude, I think, but this is a native Whalehaven accent. So if you've happened to ever been to a Whalehaven, if you're as traveled as anybody else, you would understand that.
Aye, we've been to Whalehaven.
Oh,
it's not.
okay, well, then you'll understand my accent.
Oh, it's not your accent. It's what you're asking for.
Oh, okay, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Nah, and I turned to Hope and Jorgen and I go, how do you think he got away from these Bullywugs without
He didn't.
how? No, I mean, like how they're trying to do this 1-for-1.
Yeah,
So-
can we pull like the group aside into a huddle really
Yeah.
quick?
Sure. So basically, just so you guys are, what we're trying to convey here is you guys pop up and it's just by happenstance that Rippet is walking
Oh.
by with his soldiers,
Gotcha.
and they're going towards Hemeth. They're getting ready to
Gotcha.
they're getting ready to sacrifice Andrew's character to Hemeth. So he saw that you guys are in the company of Chief Ababu, and now they're at an impasse, where you guys already know that Hemeth has been growing hungry and more violent, and he's been demanding sacrifices, and those sacrifices have been few and far between because they've been preyed upon by these zombies and preyed upon by the zombies and vampires.
Yeah. I'm actually now thinking in Lauren Hope's character. I mean, pulled aside.
Yeah, I think we should still go as a group.
Yeah. Let's pull aside. Let's powwow as a group.
Do
So
you think Rippet knows anything about this temple and why it's so symmetrical to the town's temple?
I don't know.
I don't think they're from.
I think it's just a coincidence he ran into us.
But they are running throughout the woods, and this happens to be out in the woods in their territory-ish.
Might be worth asking.
Yeah.
Just out of context right now, I hate to do this, but since he's not here, because Hope sees the trade in this, but I know Kashta would try to milk this trade because
Yes.
he sees the shaman as such a valuable asset. Although I just don't play him and I don't haggle like him, so.
Yeah, he's gonna want some special potions.
Yeah. He's
And
gonna want
some,
more than just the guy. We don't know.
Life for life
You
is
might
gonna fall
even-
short.
You
So-
might even try to bite your leg off.
So Kashta comes over, he stands up.
Frog legs.
Kashta stands up, and he kind of like, he's holding Ababu, and he kind of puts his arm around one of your guys' shoulders, like, gonna brace him up. And he walks up, and he kind of puts his elven hands around Andrew's shoulders. And he says, so, it's been quite some time now. I'm sure that Hemeth has been growing weak enough where perhaps could be slayed. It doesn't make much sense. Your people are suffering and need to devote so much energy and effort towards providing these sacrifices. What is it that he actually provides? So Rippet kind of like leans back, and he's thinking, and this is out of desperation. Like, you can see that in his face. I can't help but admit you have a point. Seeing as that we've never seen him. Leave the bodies. They're consumed. If that is what you wish to do. So, how's this? We'll give you an extra set of hands. Release our prisoner here. We'll direct you towards Hemeth. You can slay the god. Your debt and all debts, all future debts will be paid.
Can Hope hear this?
Yeah.
I Hope would run up to, not run up, but like quickly walk up to Kashta, put my hand on his shoulder, and say, "To slay Hemeth, I think this is a good sign. It was in that vision of mine. I'll take him as mine if we can do this."
So, do we have an agreement? I'll give you the extra set of hands, an extra bow. Slay Hemeth.
I look back towards the group.
It's always beneficial to have another hunter around. Nothing else.
I don't know. We just dealt with all those vampires, so I guess what is a god toad thing got on us?
That's a way to be thinking, sloth woman.
I guess that's just the way right now, but we definitely need a rest before this happens.
Rippet pulls out this like jagged, like it's more just like piece of metal than a dagger, and he walks up to Andrew's character, grabs him from like not the throat but like the neck and the shoulder, and just slices the the bindings around his wrists, and throws him his pack, and he says, "Your death is with them now."
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. I'd rather be in my company than theirs, if you know what I'm saying.
So you see the other bullywugs already walking over to Chief Ababu and helping him up. Ababu is still just like out of sorts. He's dehydrated. He's been beaten. He gets a grasp of what's going on, but he really doesn't have the energy to participate. Rippet. He points. He points south, and he says, "Say maybe 15 croaks in that direction. Now, be gone, him. We change our mind. Once the beast is slain, you will no longer be prey. You will be one of us. Now, when you're heading south, you're going through the reeds, the tall reeds, through the swampland. You can see, up to your left, see a large peak of the poking over the valley. Once you reach that, about another mile or so more, you'll come to a narrow pass with a deep, deep lake. A small lake, but it's very deep. There's a pass around the side. Careful of traps. Careful of the undead. We haven't cleared that section out yet. As you continue forward, you're going to have to make another trade. A trade with the ornery shepherd. Once you make the trade with the shepherd, you can cross his bridge down to Hemoth Slayer.
What do you know about
What kind of trade?
Yeah.
I'm actually well versed in navigating this area around here. I just want to let you know
How
that
do you
I'm
find
not going to
yourself in the
be.
trap then?
Good question. I see that you're a group that asks very good questions, and I like that in a group that I am now a part of. You know what's even better is finding the answers. And I think that we're going to find the answers to your question, little man, together as one cohesive unit. So that's what I think. That's that's the answer to your question.
Why were you out for 3 days?
Why was I?
Yeah,
Okay.
why were you out? Because we heard that everyone in this town over here doesn't leave.
Right, that is true. That is true. For 600 years, no one has ever left. So that's sort of a bummer for people that want to go get something in another town. It's really it's really bad. But I want to tell you guys something, and it's perplexing me a little bit. I want to pull you guys aside, away from everyone else, and I know that they're on their way, but I lost me wife. I lost me wife 3 days ago. She ventured out to collect some blueberries for her famous blueberry pie. She wins it every year in the festivals, and she's been lost out here ever since. I told her not to venture too far, and I told her what paths to stay on. You have to stay on particular paths, otherwise you get lost. And I know it's dangerous to come out here, but I had to come and find her. So, unfortunately, I wandered a bit too far, and I fell into these Rippet fellas over there. They took me hostage. I didn't want to tell them about my wife. They had that mean look in their eye. I thought they might find her and do something terrible to her. So that's why I'm out here. That's my story in a nutshell. That's a saying we have in Whalehaven. In a nutshell.
Well,
It's like, sorry, I was just going to explain in a nutshell. So there's a nutshell, and then sometimes we put things in a nutshell, and so that's what we say when we say.
Enough.
Will.
Okay.
I can sympathize with your plight when losing your son out here, or your wife, because my son went missing in these woods a few weeks ago. So
In these woods here, did he? How far did he? Do you know exactly when and how far he might have ventured?
This was back in Fair Willow, back when we had the sense to put up stone tablets to protect us from the outer realms of the woods, but we are far beyond that, in a town that in all of my life in the valley I've never seen before. So, no, not here, but there is certainly no shortage of danger out here too.
I sympathize with you. And your son's name, by the way, what is it?
My son's name was Eric. He was the bravest man I ever knew.
My wife's name is Bridget. So if you would have me, I would happily help you look for Eric. And if you guys help me look for Bridget.
Eric is with the gods now.
Oh.
What resides in me is the power of winter. Hopefully I can use this to all of our advantage. But if I can aid in helping you find your dear Bridget, get you that blueberry pie that sounds so good, I will be more than happy to oblige.
And what's the rest of your names, by the way? Sorry, I just want to get acquainted with everybody.
Hi, I'm Zula Fern.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I definitely can sympathize too with you. I know I'm a family person myself, so we'll definitely try to find Bridget, and hopefully the toads didn't get her first.
She also turns into a wolf, sloth lady.
I do.
It is quite something to behold.
I know that a lot of people never really meet sloths. I get a lot of looks, I understand, but I do have some things up my sleeve, definitely, that helps with this group.
Sounds like it. Wolves help, sure.
I go and I extend my hand out for a handshake. And then if Merle shakes my hand, I put my hand over his and say, "The name's Hope, and we'll find your wife. I assure it."
Thank you, Hope. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I walk over and give him a nice little up down, trying to size him up. I'm Yurig. I don't really like you right now, but you talk kind of funny, so I guess we could keep you around.
Okay. Okay, I'll ignore that one. I like the last one better, but that's fine. Okay.
I'll walk over. What's your name, by the way?
Oh, it's escaping me. Hold on 1 second. Merle.
Alright, so I'll walk over to Merle. The name's Bliss. You might consider yourself part of the group right now, but remember, we're out here for a specific reason. We gotta go 15 croaks south now. If we find your wife on the way, great. But don't expect much more than that.
Okay. Alright, I have to admit, those introductions got worse the more we went on. So, I appreciate you guys taking me, I really do. I'll keep myself in check. Thank you so much.
Can someone attempt to be Kashta with this one?
So, actually, I would kind of do one thing to that line. I'd say, "We'll help you find your wife, like was said along the way, but we know who you are now, and we, could make things difficult for you if you don't comply. And I just want to mask up any faces into him and say, you said you're from Whalehaven, right?"
I'm sorry, what is Nick doing right now?
So mask up many faces, I can cast disguise self on myself at will, and I made myself look exactly like you.
Oh, okay. And only I can see that, or
No,
everybody
everybody can see
Everyone
that.
can see it.
Okay.
So you're here to help us with Hemoth as well as find your wife.
Oh my God! Obviously, he's very surprised that he could transform into my image. My God, what is this? I don't understand. Yeah, what is this?
A gift. It's a gift, but also a warning to you that we need your aid to help with Hemoth, and we'll help you find your wife.
Hemoth, exactly. What is this that you're seeking?
He's
Don't even get us started.
he's
This
some sort
fucking
of
guy.
he's some sort of false god, one that the frog people, the Bullywugs, pray to.
And he's wronged you somehow, or
No, you were almost a sacrifice for him. That's where they were bringing you.
oh God!
So
I thought it
he's
was.
just like Hope said right over here. He's a false god that they I don't know, that they give sacrifices to hope that they don't get attacked by anything out here in the woods. And
So you could basically help
he's
us
gotten
destroy
worse.
him, or be a sacrifice yet again.
Okay. Right. Well, cards are on the table. I see. That's fine. I'll help you guys as much as I can. I really appreciate you guys helping me back there. I'm good with the bow. I know this land like the back of my hand. Every single flora, every single fauna. I can identify anything for you. Best tracker Wellhaven ever had in 600 years. So I am yours. Thank you so much.
If you know this land like the back of your hand, can you tell us why this temple right here, right behind us, is the same as the one in town? Have you ever seen that before?
Dave, have I ever seen that before?
So this particular location is you haven't been to this particular part of the so it's kind of hard to describe for you. I'll do it real quick. So Whalehaven sits north of most of the civilization. You guys sit in this deep basin of this valley. Most of it is infested with horrific monsters and spirits and things like that, where the grounds, like particular parts of the ground, are deemed like almost off limits if they're not hallowed ground. There are certain areas that are safe for hunting, that are safe for mining, that are safe for farming, things like that are outside the city walls. This is one of those areas that you have not been, and it's a little fear. As you're looking around, you're seeing that it's basically the temple that you've known your entire life from the town. But for some reason, there's another version of it in this swamp that has been decrepit and falling apart. Kashta, at this point, he says, I'm going to commune with the lantern, see if there's any insights or anything that I can derive from his experiences. I'll hold down this campsite for us.
Yeah, but to answer Ash's question, I guess I would say, I mean, it looks like the one from our town, but I've never seen anything like it, right?
Yeah, so you step back,
Okay.
you're looking around, and you're like, it's like jarring, because it's like the layout of your town is like here, like that courtyard that you're very, very familiar with from your town, with the markets and the walls and everything, and the parks, and this temple. The layout is all the same, but it looks like as if it was destroyed, ransacked, and just left to rot years and years and years and years. So it's like jarring, really. You're like, just like, am I really seeing this right now? This is like odd. This is more than familiar.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. This is incredible. It's impeccable how close this is to the edifice and structure back at my town. This is absolutely incredible. I don't know what's going on here at all.
Is it
Thank you.
exactly the same, or does it look more like a mirrored image, where like
No,
things that should be on the right side are on the left side now?
no, it's not anything particular like that. But the current state that it's in, it's obvious that it's the temple, but you wouldn't be able to discern any sort of details like that just from how badly it's fallen apart.
My question is that I pose out loud to everybody. These people had no problem profaning the name of God by making themselves the ones to be worshipped. Someone ended up stabbing their own father, their own clergyman. I wonder if this is just a similar situation of ages past. Perhaps this might not be the first iteration of Wellhaven that we've seen in our lifetime.
And
See,
well, I don't mean to cut you guys off, but as you're doing this is all part of a long rest. You guys are sitting, resting, eating, everything like that. So any spell slots, Andrew, you're already caught up.
We're
Everybody can
leveling up
recover your
though,
spell
right?
slots. Yep, you're leveling up to 4.
Alright, let me get that settled. Are we rolling hit points?
You can roll your hit points. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do them real quick.
Yeah.
Just remember, just roll your hit die and add your Constitution modifier.
Oh, well, my Constitution modifier is going up by 1.
which dice do we roll against? Or
You're a D8.
Yeah, I'm a
D8? Yeah.
D8 plus your con mod.
Perfect.
I don't need to roll, do I, Dave?
Nope, you're all set. You're good to go.
Okay. All right.
And you said we
Plus 2.
take either our half or...
Yep.
Okay.
If you roll below half, then you take half.
Oh my god. What
Yeah,
Everybody's
Oh.
Everybody's
the...
rolling great.
No. Let's go.
I
That's
had some
huge.
sauce.
Okay.
Huge.
So just for the sake of time, guys, continue to add your sheets and things like that. But the night progresses. It's a silent. It's a refreshing sleep. There's an extra person with you, where there's a bit of confidence that you're getting from him. It's nice to have a local, somebody that's of a familiar face, that isn't of the swamp, that's guiding you. You can see that he sets up the camp. He lays down he packs down the ground. There's clearly some expertise that he's exhibiting with assisting you with this campsite, and you get a very refreshing night's rest, even though it's only about 6 hours of sleep, taking turns one after another. As the sun rises over the valley, over the horizon, it beams down, and you can now tell that this area, there's definitely a clearing in the woods, a clearing in this part of the swamp.
Sorry.
Again, Merle, he is up and at it. He has his boots out. They're by the coals. He's warming his boots. Get that chill out of his feet. He's packing his bag. He's ensuring that his bow is ready to go. And as you guys look over, you can draw your own opinions. But it's if you were looking at what he was doing, you can see that there's some expertise there. There's a master. He's a master of his skill and trade, and he is ready to go. He's gung ho, and he's ready to rock and roll. As you guys rise up, Kashta, he starts packing things up. He's brewing this brew. He's going to be experimenting with a couple of things. And again, Merle looks up. He looks at the sun, and by the position of the sun, he goes, "That's south." And anything you want to say? Any inspiring words there, Merle?
No, I think that we should get on with it. Early bird gets the worm. That's another saying that we have back in my town. So that way south. If you don't mind, I wouldn't. If it's okay with everyone in the group, would you mind if I took lead?
It's your woods, my friend.
Okay, thank you very much. Just make sure to follow me. Stay close. It's a very, very treacherous area. People haven't left in 600 years, ventured too far. So please, I beg you, stay as close as possible. and then I
We'll
head
make
out. I
sure
guess.
and before we do that, I'll just put a hand on his shoulder, even though I don't know him quite well. We will keep an eye out for Bridget in the meantime. So I assure you.
I choke up a little bit, and then I'm like, thank you, and then I go on.
Okay. All line up. And you're kind of falling into your natural order, but with Merle up front. You're walking. You're traversing through this dense wilderness. The ground is mushy. Um, Merle leans his hand back. He's like telling you where to step so your boots don't sink into the muck. Continues to walk forwards. I need I need Merle to make a survival check.
Shit.
So go on your sheet, click the survival skill. Oh my god. First roll, natural 20.
Okay.
Nice. Let's go.
Wait, let me see.
There we go.
Awesome. Man.
25. All right, that's fun.
Yeah. So, Bliss, it's kind of funny. Like he's been kind of breathing down your neck a little bit. Like he's not suspicious, but he's kind of like giving a little bit of a side eye where he's tired of these. And Mike, correct me if I'm wrong. He's tired of these interruptions. He kind of wants to get through with everything, and he kind of like shoulder bumps you to like pass, and you and you put your hand, and he kind of swats your hand down, and as he swats your hand down, he looks, and there's like a snake's nest. Like you just stopped him from stepping in this snake's nest. There's a snake, and Bliss kind of just like looks over, gives you a look like, and steps back in line. All right, everyone, and then you keep going forward. This is what you see, Merle. You walk up, and you part some reeds, you part the bushes, and you can see that deep lake. Very short, it's very shallow, it goes out to the left very far. There's nowhere clear path to the left. There's a large rock that's sitting center in this lake, and then to the right, there seems to be a narrow pass between jagged rocks, thorn bushes, and trees. So immediately to the front, you can see that lake with the rock on it. On the other side, there's a large, looks like animal carcass, and you can hear these just like gnashing and ripping and growling, just over the hedges, just out of sight. And then to the right is that narrow path. What are you guys doing?
Do we all hear this?
This is like Merle is parting the bushes. He's kind of like getting a lay of the land. Everybody's behind him.
What do you see?
I'm getting my shillelagh ready.
I'd like to, I guess, use my intuition to see which path is the correct path.
Okay, make another survival check.
Oh my god, dude.
Damn, killing it. So what you can tell is this rock that's sitting in the water, it's flat, but the lichens and the moss that are growing, that are reaching out of the water, that are adhering to this rock, like, you know, it's going to be very slick. You need to be very careful. The water is murky and dark, and you know that this area is known for poisonous snakes and constrictor snakes and various things that live in these sorts of environments. And then to the right, it's almost like too clear. It's almost like it's a well-traveled path for game, and you know your experience as a hunter that this would be an ideal place to set a trap.
In the clear area to the left?
To the right, there's that clearing that goes
Okay.
through so you have the lake to the left with the large
Yep.
rock, with the slick rock that you'd probably be able to cross. And then there's the path that goes around the lake, where
Yeah.
there's the thorn bushes and everything like that, but there's a clearing. And your experience, this is a natural path that's formed by like passing deer and elk and
Gotcha.
forest animals, and it would be an ideal place for traps. So you're hesitant either way, like to risk crossing the water or going across the path.
Okay, I relay all this information to the group. I turn around and I let them know. I leave it up to. It seems like a 50-50 shot at this point. You know, I could be putting you guys in danger, so I want to hear what you guys have to think as well. I know that you're well versed travelers as well. So, what do you think? Which way should we go?
I'm gonna look at Hope and be like, "Isn't this what the frog warned us about? We're pretty close to that shepherd who wants to make a trade before we cross the bridge. He told us to watch for traps once we get to this point."
True. So, what are you saying? You think crossing? This is like a river. I'm sorry, a river again? How far across?
So it's a large lake that goes
Oh,
far
okay,
out
a
to the
large
left.
lake. Got it.
And then there's like a section that
Yeah.
kind of dips in. Yep, the path goes around to the right.
Okay, and what you're saying is getting across this lake. There's rocks that we can.
There's a large rock
It's
that
like
sits
fair.
where you guys can. So there's like a. So how would I draw it? Let me draw it like this. So,
You said it was like a flat rock that we could jump on, right?
Yeah, but it has like
yeah.
moss.
So
and,
it's kind of like
um,
this.
I'm also
So-
talking to Hope, saying like, "Isn't this the lake that he said was kind of small but amazingly deep, and we should follow the path around?"
So I'm not sure if this makes sense, but you'd have the rock in the middle where you guys can
Hold it up
probably
a little
hop
bit,
across.
closer, Dave.
Yeah, you gotta bring it closer to the camera.
You see it? You guys can probably. So this would be the lake.
Okay.
And then the rock in the center. You guys could probably cross, and then that clear path along the side.
Okay.
Guys, we gotta take the path and just watch for traps. That's what the frogman said.
I think so. I mean,
Well,
Merle,
I was gonna say,
yeah.
hold on, because I actually, while we were doing a long rest, I was meditating and speaking to my God, and I actually can do. Where's that? Find traps. Now, so
I think with that
let
and
me.
the hunter, we should be clear for the
Yeah.
path to the right.
So if we go over to the right, I'll put find traps up there so all of our viewers can read it.
So you see.
So you can sense the presence of any trap within a range that's within light of sight. A trap for the purpose of this spell includes anything that would inflict a sudden or unexpected effect you consider harmful or undesirable, which was specifically intended as such as its creator. Thus, a spell would sense an area affected by the alarm spell, a glyph of warding, or a mechanical pit trap, but it would not reveal a natural weakness in the floor, an unstable ceiling, or a hidden sinkhole.
So as
So
you
it's
cast.
so it's like if someone specifically put a trap there, not like a worldly made one, like a creator.
So you cast the spell, and you're winding your hands together. The divination magic is just spilling from nature itself. The plants, the birds, just the nature is just speaking to you, and just you can see that up in the tree, the canopy, almost like highlighted in like this red aura, are these two ropes and a giant log, just with giant sticks just like poked in it, right? And then a small twine that comes down, just barely visible into the bushes, and a pressure plate that's underneath some leaf, some like scattered leaf cover,
Now,
and it's just hanging there, suspended in the canopy.
does everyone see this, or is it just me? Because I do this.
Is it say reveal it, or do you just know?
It says you sense.
Don't.
You sense. So yeah,
And
you
I
see.
sense it. Okay,
Yes.
so everything that Dave just said, I reveal to you guys. I say, whoa. Let's think this out, because there are two canopies up there. There's a pressure point. There's rope, and if we hit that, there is a massive log that's waiting for us with a whole bunch of sticks on it, ready to impale us.
Wow, that's quite an eye you got there. That's amazing. I didn't see that for myself, and I've been traversing these woods for years.
I told you that, I'm slow and steady, but I have some gifts I can definitely give to the group.
Reminds me of me, Bridget.
So, Oren, you've told us about the pressure plate, like we know all
Yeah.
the specifics of it.
Yeah, so Dave, sorry to if you have to explain it again, but the pressure point is only in like one area, right? So it's a way that
There's
we
a
can walk
pressure
around
plate.
it.
That's yeah. Oh yeah, you can definitely.
Okay,
It's a
okay,
pressure
so
plate.
I can see like where it's like glowing, so I can I'll
Oh
like
yeah,
take
absolutely.
lead. I'll take lead with Andrew. What's your character's name again?
Merle.
Merle.
Merle. So I go to Merle and I say, "Hey Merle, if you don't mind, I'm gonna walk with you to take lead on this one, just because I can see where the pressure points are, so that we don't step on them and get impaled."
That sounds like a wonderful idea, Zula.
Okay.
I'll be right behind you.
So everybody's laying low within the bushes. They can all start to hear that chattering and dripping and tearing, something just outside of line of sight. And you guys move to the right, and Zula kind of just like holds you tight against the side of the brush, and you can now kind of see like this makeshift pressure plate that is just like slightly concealed underneath these leaves. As you round the corner, you can see this enormous animal carcass where it's wide open, ribs exposed, just entrails spilled about the forest floor. You see these large hawk-like limbs on one side. The other side has already been ripped apart, devoured, or missing. And you can see 4 humanoid bodies just head first, just like pulling in there, just like just eating handfuls of meat, pulling off of this carcass.
I looked towards Jorg. I was like, he did say zombies too, right?
Oh, this is bad news. This is bad news.
This wouldn't be the first zombies we've had to send back to hell.
Okay, hold on. Hold on, guys. I I was gonna say that if we see this group right here, maybe I can finally do this spell correctly this time, and we can have a veil of shadows and silence that radiates us, so the zombies don't sense us walking this strap right now.
Dang, dude, Zula coming in clutch.
Try to sneak past them.
All right, I need
Yeah,
everybody make a stealth check, and then
you
add
get a
10 to the
plus
roll.
10. You get a
Add 10
plus
to your
10
roll.
to your stealth check.
Goofers.
And
You got a
Yep, that'll do.
Okay. Hold on, let me do mine.
-1.
Oh,
I know.
Andrew,
Where's my-
a +6. Wow.
It's a hunter. So we are all in the 20s.
All right, and then that's a
Or
17.
Awesome. So you guys literally walk past these zombies, and you can see that what these things are eating is an owl bear. And one of the zombies kind of like stands up and just like moves to the other side of the body and just crushes a nest full of eggs.
And wait,
One of the-
can I put some flair to this? And when I create the spell, because it's a concentration, I want it very Harry Potter-esque. I want it to be like this makeshift, almost looking like magical cloak-like thing that is making us so stealthy.
Oh, cool. Yeah, there's just like
Because it radiates. It says it like radiates like that.
there's like a glimmer, like a shimmer.
Yes,
Where like
yes, I
reality
want
is
it.
just like shimmering.
Yes.
Cool. I like that. One of the zombies kind of just stands up and like shambles across the other side of the carcass, stepping on a nest full of eggs. One of the eggs rolls out of the nest while the rest of them are crushed, just out of reach. As you guys continue to walk forwards.
Wait.
You guys moving on?
So we can. I just want to reiterate too. We can be like this for up to an hour. If we want to keep on walking by like
Could
this
I,
until we find something.
Could I make a stealth tick to try to grab one of the eggs? It rolls away.
Make a sleight of hand check. Nice.
Ooh.
So, Oren, like the zombies, just like, and this arm just kind of like reaches by and pulls, and you have this like bronzish, like speckled owlbear egg.
Never, little one. It's okay.
As you pass on.
I'd like to put my. Do I see this happen? Do I see him do that?
Yeah.
Okay, as we're like silently going across, I just want to put my hand on his shoulder and be like, "Great job, you found dinner."
Okay.
Just like, whoa.
So as you
I need
continue,
socks.
you pass these zombies, and you continue to walk and walk and walk. Andrew, I need you to make another survival check. See if he's able to get through this forest. How successful he's able to get through. Damn! And man, I had all these tables ready to roll. Man, just crushing it. This time, like Warren's really not paying attention. He's like looking at this egg, and Merle, you're looking back and forth, and you can see that the ground is like almost at a slope, and there's a pretty steep drop to one side as you round this corner. And Orange really not paying attention, and you look back, and you take your quarterstaff out of your pack, you swing it back almost like a bus driver would swing the blocker for the kids, and you hit him just hard enough on his shoulder to kind of keep him back on the trail. Oh, stay in line. You guys continue forward. Now, another hour or so goes by, maybe 2. Come to another clearing. This clearing, you see these large, like just out of sight. These cow-sized, hunched over creatures. You really can't get a beat on it. I'm sure if you get a little closer, you can tell. You see approximately. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You see approximately 10 of them, about cow-sized furry creatures, about 100 yards out. And you can see a tent and the bridge.
I looked down again at Jorg and said, "He did say something about a shepherd, didn't he?"
I mean, we're gonna have to make a choice, and it seemed to be a pretty hard choice by what he mentioned.
He did mention a sacrifice, and I mean, we do have a perfectly good owl egg.
Don't. No.
I was gonna say we have a perfectly good Merle.
What do you guys? I'm a little bit ahead, so I'm like, hey, what are you guys talking about?
Did I hear you mention my name?
Just talking about what exactly he meant by there needing to be another trade with the shepherd. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
Dave, what do I know? Or should I?
Make a history check. You've heard like legends, like fairy tales of way outside of the walls of the city. There's this shepherd that's been
It's like the
that
Boogeyman
herds
tales that he
Her-
remembers
he
from when he was a
herds
kid.
he herds these strange beasts, and they have large fangs, and they're covered in eyes and hair, and like it's just like fairy tale. Like you've heard of fairy tales growing up about it.
Can I? Okay, since this is a 2 and this is not pertinent to the story, can I have a little bit of fun with this one, or?
Be my guess.
Okay. What have I heard? Oh, let me tell you what I've heard. I've been hearing things my entire life. This shepherd will rip the foreskin right off of you. He comes in at night and steals it. He steals it, and he steals your mother's breasts. That's what they told us back in the village. He steals your mother's breasts, and they take it into their little cave, their damp cave. That's so disgusting and grimy, and there's rats with wings that look like bats, and they take all these and they mish them together, and they make this little soup stew thing, and then they bring it back to you, and they feed you your own mother's breast. That's what I've heard.
I'm starting to understand why Whale Haven doesn't get visitors.
That's quite
Everything you've done, Merle, to get us out here, avoid the snake pits, him dropping off a cliff, you just ruined.
Okay, as
That's
long as I
quite
find my sweet
tired.
Bridget.
We'll find her. It's
We're not
an
too busy
interesting
laughing.
tale. When exactly did you hear that tale most recently?
4 or 5 years old.
And how old are you now?
45.
So you could say that some of those things might have been exaggerated, right?
Now that you put it in that light, Mr. Hope, I suppose perhaps they were maybe a bit exaggerated. Oh, I'm a wee bit embarrassed now. Do you mind if I take 3
No,
steps back?
I'm sorry, and I kind of like pat you on the shoulder. I was like, I didn't mean it in that sort of way. I just meant it as in, you know, there's a truth to some fables. There's a truth to some of those things. Maybe we approach it like that, but just not with rats with wings and foreskin and soup.
You're right. You're right. I'm sorry. I think the stress of losing me Bridget has gotten to me. I'm starting to stress about everything now. I apologize, but
Would you think, before we approach the tent, would you like to just take a quick sit and breathe, collect ourselves before maybe we go? And I look back at the group.
If we do that, I can make some good berries.
Might be a good idea.
I think so. So let's all sit. I pull out my mistletoe and start doing my thing for 10 minutes with my good berries. And
I'd ask Merle about other tales that he heard when he was 4 years old.
Dave.
for an hour.
Dave, question.
Oh no,
I
I'm not
know
asking
that,
you to actually say it, but like that's what Hope wants to do. He's intrigued.
Okay. We have a
Tasha would
little
probably do
aside.
too.
I'm telling you the stupidest shit that possibly comes out of my mouth.
I'm helping you work through it.
If I do the good berry with my moonsicle heal, doesn't that mean that I can add, because the moonsicle heal is 1d4, doesn't that mean I can add instead of a 1 hit point to the good berry?
Technically, it doesn't work that way because it's when the healing is cast. But
okay.
rule of cool, allow it. So roll your d4, and that goes for all of them.
Dang.
How long would it take to make a Eldritch Cannon?
Eldritch Cannon. Is that part of your ability?
So it didn't even.
It's part of my. It says I can make it. I just don't know how long it would take to make.
Archetype.
Okay, I would say it doesn't take that long. I mean, if it's part of your subclass, 10 minutes, same amount of time.
He probably started tinkering it with it over the last long rest if it was his archetype.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so Jordan's sitting
Tasha's
next
still
to me,
with us?
like, while I'm like hosting.
No, Kasha's back at camp.
Got it.
Yeah. So he's back at camp and like, I'm doing all that. So then I make my 10 good berries. And is everyone kind of still around? Or I know that you and Merle, Hope and Merle are kind of
We're
like away, but is everyone
leaning
else?
up against like this stone
Okay.
like wall or whatever.
Breakthrough, in case you guys are wondering. So with Nick.
So once Zula's done with her good berries, of course I pocket like a couple, and then I go around and I hand each person a good berry.
And
then I go to Merle and I go, this will keep you safe for a little bit. So if anything happens and you're not feeling like 100% yourself, eat this and it will help you. It will give you like a little bit more motivation.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And I just want to reiterate, Merle, it's not like I'm helping you out like as if it's like a therapist. It's as if I'm intrigued in the story about like these tales of these horrific or great things, and then I'm like, but couldn't you think that maybe it might be like an analogy for this? Like out of like curiosity, not out of like trying to like fix you. I think it's cool. I think it's interesting.
I think that Merle is a little bit of a good old boy, so maybe the fact that you doubt these stories is upsetting me a little bit, but I don't show it too much.
All right.
So, you guys take your little time. Jorg is like polishing off just like the last little bits of his Eldritch Cannon. Zula starts handing out the berries, and you guys you're on the verge of a breakthrough, but you have to cut it short to continue the rest of the mission. So you're about 100 yards away. You can see a figure come out of the tent, a cloaked figure come out of the tent, and light up a little little tiny campfire with a pot, cooking pot, and you see he's like swirling the pot.
Hot.
He has the different things, and he has his flock of these creatures that you really can't tell what they are yet. They're large. They're hunched over. They have heavy fur. Um, just beyond him is the bridge. It's a wood bridge and a deep chasm. You can't see the bottom of.
We approach.
I'd like to discern the chasm. How do I see how deep it is?
You can tell that it is a chasm, and you can't see the bottom just from the angle that you guys are at. But you can't tell until you get closer. You can't tell how deep it is.
Oh, okay. I'd like to discern, I guess. Am I still familiar with this area, first off? Have we gone too
Yeah.
far away? Okay.
No. I mean, not this specific area, but you're familiar with like this environment.
All right. And what was the first way again? I'm sorry, before the chasm? You broke up a little bit.
All right. So you guys passed the. You guys are like seem to be
So
like.
we're just.
I'm picturing. You're stopped about 100 yards away from where you'd assume to be the shepherd is, with about 10 of these creatures, these large creatures, these cow-sized creatures. This cloaked figure comes out of his tent, seems to be cooking something in a cooking pot, and then the trail continues past this deeper into the wilderness. It looks more marshy and like down towards the bottom of the basin, but there's a deep chasm that the bridge spans.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Have I ever seen these cow-like creatures before on my travels?
I have to get a little closer.
I'd like to turn to the group and say, listen, guys, I feel like I'm responsible for your well-being and your safety. If you wouldn't mind just staying here, I'd like to sneak a little bit closer just to see what these creatures are. I'm not sure if I've ever seen them, and I don't want to put you in harm's way. But I'll report back with what they are. They could be harmless, probably, but you never know with this area. I don't want them to grab you if they are the thing that grabbed my dear Bridget. So if you'll just wait here a second, I'll be right back.
All right. Just be wary of the. I think the shepherd is out of his tent and looking at the flock.
So,
Thank you. I will be careful.
So, Andrew, I'll give you a choice. You can view. You're going to approach regardless, but are you going to up, say, 20 yards away, 50 yards away, or maybe 75 yards away? How far away are you going to be?
How good is my sight?
And that's going to depend on how far away you are. I'll make you roll. That's going to change the DC of that roll.
Well, they are pretty big, I would imagine. So I think 50 yards I might be able to identify it a little bit easier. So why don't we start with 50 yards?
So you approach up about. I need you to make a stealth check, and then followed by a perception check. He still gets that. Well, he's not close to her anymore. Okay, so the figures, the large creatures, they stop moving as you approach. You start like they appear to be almost like grazing. They're doing something with their forelimbs, but they stop moving. They don't look towards you or anything like that. But you start to look at your body shape they have. You're trying to what the heck am I looking at? And you can see that they have these large pedipalps with claws at the end. And
what are pedipalps? I'm sorry, are they just like arms?
They're like
think of what you see at the front. Think of like the front of a spider.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it has 4 pairs of limbs, a large rump of sorts that's covered in thick, shaggy brown fur. As you look closer, you can see there are 8 sets of eyes. Yeah, this is these are giant tarantulas.
Giant tarantulas. Oh, okay.
And as you kind of like look up, like you start to notice like just hanging in the wind are just threads of webbing that are just, you're kind of like, as you get closer.
Oh shoot. Yeah. Do I know anything about the tarantulas of the area?
You know what? Make a nature check. Nature. Ugh, on that one. So you know that tarantulas are native to this area, but you have never seen them get this large before.
Got it. Okay.
Maybe the size of your hand, but you've never seen them the size of cattle.
All right. I head back to the group. Do I make it back okay?
Make it back fine.
Okay. Well, it seems that this is an ever pressing, strange and stranger day, I must say. Those seem to be giant tarantulas over there, and the size of which I've never seen in my homeland parts at all. I'm not sure. I've never been versed with them. I've never even seen them in all my years of 45 years of hunting. It seems like you guys have been through the ringer once or twice, so maybe you've seen something or something, but these things are, I'm not sure if they're friendly or foe, what have you, but they are giant tarantulas.
It's good to know. Well, he said that the shepherd needed to trade. Does anybody have things to trade?
I'm trying to look right now in my bag.
I have, and I pull
Seems like
kind
it
of
might be
from my
bruised or
backpack. I pull
something.
that sword, the adamantine, I think long sword that you
Okay.
said. And I'm like, I could trade this. Do prefer my other blades, and I, in one hand make one of the blades appear, and then make it disappear.
I mean, really, all that I have. I don't know if he needs like any type of like moonflower or mistletoe. I also have a wooden shield. I
I
don't.
think the only way that we can discern any of this is by asking him. And making sure we do not offend his giant spiders in the meantime. Right? Because are the giant spiders not with this
They appear to be like almost like grazing, like you would expect cattle. Like they're just kind of like winding something up, like in front of them. They're kind of just traversing the ground.
So I ask Merle if these tarantulas, did they appear docile to you?
They did. They almost sounded like they were like Betsy, me cow back home. I didn't see any. They didn't seem like they were gonna attack or anything. I think they might have saw me too. I thought they would charge, but they just sort of stood there. So I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm indebted to you guys, and if you really want to talk to this shepherd so bad, I'll gladly go up first, or whatever you guys decide. I am so indebted to you. But yeah, they seem like they were docile little creatures.
Well, I think before we. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry, Hope. I was just gonna say, and it might be the same thing, but I think before anyone goes up there, we have to have a game plan because they did tell us back when we were with Kasha and everything that the shepherd does require a trade to get over the bridge.
You never know if it.
We're back. All right, guys. Thank you for the. Did we even announce we were going on break, or did we just like cut the
Yeah.
camera?
I asked if it would be a good time for a break, and then we kind of just cut.
Okay, gotcha. I just
I
now
get
the
those sometimes,
gotcha. Anyways, thank you guys for coming back. By now, everybody has grouped together, and they were stoically walking down this hill towards this open pass where a herd of giant tarantulas are just grazing of sorts in this opening. And you can see this cloaked figure that is sitting on a stool, handmade stool, outside of his tent, just stirring away at his cooking pot. He kind of looks up, and you can see a flash of red under his hood.
Excuse me, shepherd.
He kind of looks up again, and he goes back to his pot.
Are you the ornery shepherd?
He looks up, and he looks back down in his pot.
Kind of look towards the group.
I do something like this, hoping you remember my story.
Like what?
Wait, we're on the zombie
So-
map.
So, gotcha. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, so I'd kind of call out and say again, and I totally realize I'm doing the wrong Jon Snow accent, but we were told that this was the way to get to Hemoth. That we would speak with you before crossing.
You would be correct.
We're all up here, right next to him, like sort of.
Now his cloak goes back a little bit, and you can see he has his face is that of a spider. They call me the shepherd.
By all the gods.
Don't mind my herd.
No, your herd was no problem at all. Quite pleasant, actually. So, are we free to cross?
If you seek passage, the price must be paid.
And we were curious. We were warned of a price. What price might that be?
Warm bodies for the herd.
I look back at the group.
What?
He said warm bodies for the herd.
And you can see suspended from the trees are just bodies, just writhing. Some of them moving, some of them aren't. And then some of the tarantulas you notice are just like, literally like, you can see eyes. People just being wrapped up and just like dragged up and suspended in these trees.
I actually, I start scanning all the those bodies with the eyes, and I take out my bow. I don't arm it, but I kind of just shout Bridget.
You can hear in the back female's voice just frantically trying to shout from within one of the cocoons.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I literally just draw my axe out,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would summon my blades too.
and my hand starts getting icy.
It's a fight. And you can see, like, he kind of, like, moves his shoulders and his cloak comes off, and he has 6 arms in addition to his 2 legs. And he reaches for his back, and he pulls 6 swords from that are just dangling off his belt. He's like, I just required 1 more body. I suppose 6 will do. Unless you would like to work something out. I'd hate to spook. Nerd.
I would like to. I have a face of desperation, and I look to Hope, who's obviously like, he's the negotiator or the head right now, and I'm like, he's got Bridget. I know it. I can feel it.
I look towards Bliss and I'm like, I think we can negotiate something first before it comes to violence. But I'm afraid you have one of our friends,
That
beloved.
is not how these exchanges typically go. It's usually passage, an exchange for a warm body to feed the herd. I will not be cutting down this food until it's ready to eat.
You said that's how
I-
these deals typically go. Well, what if this was an atypical deal?
What would you propose? You could offer me.
You seem to have a use for swords. Protect yourself. Or, if you're a collector, I came across a fine sword alongside my friend Bliss here, whom I think Bliss could speak more to the history and renown of this sword. And I pull out the adamantine kind of sword and hand it to Bliss.
That
Dude,
is
I just
quite-
pulled it off the wall. I know nothing about this.
I know, but I tried to hype you up before about being a salesman.
That is quite the treasure. At this time, while you're having this conversation, one of the large tarantulas just brushes up against Yorig as he walks by. Just like pushes him forward. Now, so, still, one measly sword, no matter what it's made of, is worth that of a body and the passage. Now, you seem to be those who possess great skill. I may require your assistance with something.
Go on.
My war in my tunnels that have been dug out by my family for eons has been overcome with dreaded Swavane has invaded my burrow and held captive the hatchery. I need my burrow cleansed from this foul beast, and I like his eyeballs in exchange for the body and passage.
I look towards the group and I'm like, is this agreed upon?
I sort of like bolster up and I say, like, look him in his little arachnid eyes. I say, you safeguard the passage of every one of those bodies still alive, and we will rid your warrens. I have your word on this.
That's quite the exchange. If you're able to bring the beast back alive, perhaps I will free those that still breathe in their cocoons.
5, you say?
I'd like to go up to Hope. I don't want to I kind of understand this is a delicate negotiation, but I'm also a little hysterical because that's my wife, wrapped in spider cocoon, or I think it's my wife wrapped in spider cocoon, and so I'm just a little listen, I don't want to. I appreciate you saving me and everything, but I whisper this obviously. Fuck this fucking uh, spider beast. That's my wife up there. I'm not gonna just leave her. I can't trust her with these beasts all around. I don't know what you have planned or how you ever dealt with these people, but I'm about to lose my goddamn mind.
I whisper back to him in his ear, softly again. Listen, we got you out. As part of a deal to kill Hemus. You have yet to uphold that part of the deal. If you look around, we're surrounded by giant tarantulas. If you try to get your wife down now, both of you are dead. I'm sure you'd rather live together in life than to be joined together in death. We do this for him, and you both will live.
At this point, the
Wait,
shepherd-
hold on. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Andrew.
I was just gonna say, that's fine. I'll go along with your plan, but if I come back and he's and my wife is gone, I'll kill this man myself with my bare hands, even if that means my own death. So whatever agreement we have will be null and void.
I kind of take him, hold my hand on his chin, cup his chin, look at dead in the eye and say, and I'll have my dagger at his throat as well. If she's dead before we come up.
Okay, then I do a little nod, and I go back to the group.
So, the terms of the agreement are bring back the Swavane beast from my warrens alive, and I will give you everyone that hangs and breathes from these trees. I promise they will be returned with all of their fluids and life essence within their bodies.
And
I
alive
have
in,
something that is necessary to fight the beast. And he reaches into his pack and he throws a mirror at you.
I catch the mirror. You gonna say something, Hope?
No, I was gonna say beforehand that with the life essence and that they're breathing, conscious as well.
Agreed.
Fine. Point us to these warrens.
He literally just like points off behind his tent, a little farther off. And you can see it kind of like comes down. The terrain comes down, and you can see a circular carved burrow. It's tall. It's probably like 12 or 15 feet, 12 to 15 feet tall. But it's a big hole that's just like drilling into the side of the pass.
Okay, I want to attempt something kind of wild, and if it doesn't work, we can just move right along. This is water, correct? This river right here?
It's not a river.
Boy,
I mean,
okay.
there's a river at the bottom, possibly, but it is just a deep, dark trench. It's like a
it's a trench.
scar. It's a scar that rips across the valley.
Ooh. Never mind. I thought it was running water. I was going to try to freeze like a cage around the lady so that no arachnids try to snip, snap, snip. But we can just move right along.
What's
Remember, use the mirror to your advantage, or you will be consumed and have the same fate as the other spiders.
what is the mirror?
No. Right.
It has eyes of stone. A vicious creature. Blue hide, fangs, a forked tongue, and 8 legs.
Sounds promising.
Oh no, that's not good.
This is more than just giving a Merle back.
Slithers and
Let's
crawls across the ground like a wretched lizard.
Have you heard of something like this, Merle?
Have I ever heard of anything like that, Dave?
Make a history check. Actually, make a survival check. What we got here? Survival. Okay. You know this as you don't know the word, like the Suavane beast. You've never heard that name before. Appears to be just something that he calls this creature, or his people call this creature, whatever. You can make your assumption. But what he's describing is a basilisk.
Got it.
A basilisk has a terrifying gaze that can turn the living into stone.
Okay. Yeah, I tell Nick that without telling him the name of it.
Just me or the group?
To you.
Okay.
Perhaps if you had an additional mirror, it should help. However,
That has the other one, right?
Yeah.
I have a mirror. That's how I cast Sanctuary.
Okay.
I'm not sure if Kosh had it.
I think he's
Kashta took the mirror.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a shame.
Alright, that's the mirror that's like weird and demonic, so.
It could have helped
Leave
us
that.
out in a.
That's okay.
Oh, well.
Leave that at home though.
So you guys have 2 mirrors. I will give you until the next sundown to bring me the hide. Actually, no, it was the bring him alive. To bring the beast alive. Otherwise,
Live.
I must be fed.
If we were to transport this, using what Merrill told me about Basilisk, if we were to transport him safely, we might have to remove his eyes. Is that alright?
That is more than acceptable, as long as the eyes are undamaged. He kind of like reaches for like he puts one of the short swords back on his belt. He pulls up a staff, You can see that has this like lizard-like crocodile kind of head on the staff and 2 empty eye sockets.
Is he giving us the staff as like a holder?
He's
I
just
think he
showing
wants
us.
to use the staff to put the eyes in, so he can
Got
start
it.
putting people into stone.
I hysterically try to rush the group along because my wife is up there.
And I add this final addendum to you, Spider-Man. If we come back here and a single hair is touched on any of their heads, it will slaughter every single one of you.
Watchman, that's quite a humorous statement. We shall see come nightfall. He kind of sits back down to his pot and he starts eating his foreskin soup.
I was about to ask, in character, like looking back at Merle. One more question before we go. What's in the soup?
Foreskin of children
Um,
in the breasts of women
I,
ground in a pestle
I look
and
back.
turned into a paste
I look
and
back.
cooked up and made into a pudding, which is drank.
I look back at Merrill with like wide eyes, now realizing that everything he said like has some validity to it, and I'm like, what?
I don't even notice what he's saying because I'm so worried about my wife. So
You know, I'm just looking back at you like wide eyed, like as if
Like,
you
you were right.
ruined my world.
So you all continue towards this tunnel, correct?
Yes. In great haste.
Guys, how are we gonna get this beast without damaging its eyes?
Well,
It's
well,
quite simple.
just remember, if you trigger something without anything, be
Oops,
cognizant of which way you go. So you come to the opening of this cave.
Just like kind of, I guess, as we're walking and planning with Zula's question,
Yeah.
maybe
Oh,
I might suggest saying, if we could have a few people distracting him, averting his gaze, and another one of us utilizing the mirror, that would be best.
Does he need to come back?
I volunteer
still?
distracting if you need me. I'm still in your debt, whether my wife's up there or not.
Don't worry, my
We
friend.
can really use
You will be
Kosh's
intact.
servant right now.
Well, I could always use my charisma and just like flirt with the basilisk. But okay, so I'm gonna do this in character.
so basically, you go.
All I'm thinking is that we shine the mirror on him, he turns to stone. Then that begs the question: does that nullify our agreement to bring him back alive?
Could be true.
Well, how would we get the eyes?
We might have
You
to.
and I,
Did we just
hunters
lose Dave?
both between this.
Oh, we just lost Dave.
Bro.
Let's go
Oh, he's
back.
coming.
So I look to Merle, and I look to Merle and I say, "You and I, as the hunters, certainly you have experience gathering with wild game, perhaps restraining a deer or two in your time."
Yes, but nothing ever like this. The stories that they used to tell of this creature are beyond compare. If it's as bad as it seems, I'm afraid that it may take all of our efforts to not only restrain the beast, but take the eyes right from its sockets. If we turn it to stone, how are we going to be able to extract what we need?
These are the questions that need answering.
If you do want a volunteer for someone to distract them, to distract the beast while you incapacitate it, you all look like worthy warriors, and magic casters. Do any of you know anything that could possibly debilitate the beast for a short time?
And I look down to my cold, icy hands, and I say, "We can always just freeze him where he stands and tie him up."
Hold on. I may actually have something.
Just think, there might be a couple different ways of using that mirror, guys. Doesn't always have to be pointed directly at him. Just a thought.
Well, hold on a second. Do we know that it turns us to stone?
You do.
Yeah, you just told him.
Yeah, that's right. That's if we look directly, but what if we use the mirror as a way to possibly not look directly into its eyes?
True.
But how does that help us catch him?
There's a good way to navigate towards them, I suppose. And then one of you use your magic powers. Little lady, do you have anything again that might detect something that we could... Anything in your magic
I'm
bag?
laughing that he called her lizard lady. That's hilarious.
I'm a sloth.
Are you a female sloth?
I am a female sloth.
Okay. You're cute, so
So I'm a lizard. So I guess it's the moss that's growing on top of me. That sometimes make us looks a little scaly. But I did want to say that I don't know if it'll work, but I can possibly create entangle if we get it in a certain moment, that I can get it entangled into vines, that if it doesn't pass the strength check, it will be restrained. So maybe there's something that we can do that I can entangle it, hopefully restrain it, and then we could figure out how to get it from there.
I mean,
Well, I'll
try,
follow Hope.
I could try to carve its eyes while it's alive, but it might be difficult. Fortunately, I don't have anything other than these, and again, I create my short swords in my hand. Jorg, do you have
I could be
contraption?
sneaky and take those eyes, as long as it's entangled.
I know, but
I just
still
have a whole
not
bunch of tools to
fighting.
help. I'm not sure which set would be most appropriate.
Do you have anything that can put it to sleep, that can lock it up, stun it?
That's not my skill set.
Alright.
Well, if it's Bacchus' turn to all of you guys, it seems like you might have enough time to incapacitate it with all your powers. If I take the mirror and do as Hope had planned and have distract it, I can look at the mirror through it and hopefully it'll follow me, turn its back to you guys, and you guys make your move.
Sounds like a plan.
Well, and also, he was saying something about hopefully we had a second mirror. So is there a way that we want to put those two mirrors? Or do you think just the one will work?
I'm not sure. I think we'll know more as we come to encounter it. But I think we have a good plan for it now.
So do you guys enter, or are you guys entering, or what?
Yeah.
All right. So as you enter the cave, there are these purple glowing mushrooms that are illuminating the tunnels. And it splits right path and a left path.
What's that rubble off to the left path?
It's just don't worry about it. It's just rubble.
Okay.
Does one path look more used by like basilisk tracks? Basilisk, whatever.
Make a survival check. I'm sorry, make a nature check. I'm sorry, nature.
You sure you don't want survival? Damn it.
Survival it is. Rule of cool. So you notice that the path off to the right has these like sliding marks and like these claws along the tunnels. It looks like it's the bulk of its body was slithering along the ground, and whatever limbs that it had were just pulling along the walls. Seems like this basilisk was too large for these tunnels, but was able to squeeze through anyways.
So
I
while
think we should
we're
head to the right side. And by the looks of it, this beast is going to be pretty big.
Wonderful.
Okay. All right. As you guys continue, you can see that there are small spiders and other like bats that are still hanging from the ceiling that appear to be completely made of stone.
Oh no, I
Yeah.
lost my light. That's alright. I'll put the torch out. There we go.
Sort of a metagame question. I wanted to pose it in the chat. I think I'm gonna do that.
Okay. I'd kind of look back towards Merle and say, "You're more familiar with basilisks than I think any of us. Do you mind taking the lead on this?"
Honestly, Hope, I'm putting all my hope in you. No pun intended. So I'd be glad to. Yeah, follow my lead. And have I explored caves before, Dave, or is it just kind of like the forest?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And at this point, I need everybody to make a stealth check.
Getting there.
Oren, what's your modifier?
You just gotta click stealth on your character sheet.
Well,
Oh.
All right. So overall, as you're walking, like Hope, that you're trying to walk forward, or even more so, you're walking forwards, and you kick some loose gravel, and you just can't help but listen to the echoes of that click, clack, 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 of that rock just bouncing, down the.
I gotta go help my dad, guys.
Of the rock bouncing down the tunnel, and as you all stop and listen, you can just hear the heavy breathing.
Good.
Something large sleeping.
So, I mean, our game plan's pretty much set. Try to tangle this thing up and get those eyes before anything else. So we'll just approach with caution.
Yeah, I was
Continue
gonna say, could we? My plan is, hear me out. I think we should approach with caution. Hope and Bliss approach with caution. Blades wielded. And Zula
If
at the
anything-
ready, and Zula and Oren ready to lock this thing up with ice and roots. Org on standby, and Merle ready with the mirror.
Are there still those stone bats that we can see above us?
Yeah.
Should I grab one?
Yeah, sure. You can grab one. It's like a bat just wrapped up as if it was sleeping, and its eyes are wide open, and it's just completely. It's like a complete stone bat.
Is it?
I am
Is
gonna
Hope?
grab
Are
it
you the
to,
one taking the eyes out from the basilisks?
I'm gonna try.
So then, yeah, I'm gonna take out my mirror and point it towards you, casting Sanctuary. Well, I don't even have to cast it. I could just it's a instant one
Use it.
with Artificer Initiate.
Oh, that's cool. Word.
Whoever would like it, who's dealing like frontline status, can get mage armor from me too, and I can give you a crust of ice about your person.
Actually,
Also,
that's a good point. I can't use mage armor, but I'd use armor of Agathis on myself and prepare whatchamacallit, my hexblade curse for it.
So that last stealth check is don't worry about having to make another one. This is your time, guys, to coordinate and position yourselves before you take action.
Oh, so
Okay.
we can look into this room?
Yep.
so we can go into it now. Don't see anything.
It's kind of scurry.
All right.
Oh, there
I
it is.
want
Yeah.
to hide behind this mushroom.
I'm going up. Already did armor of Agathis. I'm ready, essentially like waiting for Bliss, like ready to go. If I'm able to move anywhere, move there. Just like ready, daggers out. Armor of Agathis for the hex, and on the word, I'm just gonna hex and stab at the same time on Bliss's go.
I thought it was gonna be Ashley's go if she's gonna try to.
Yeah,
Well,
I was gonna say I'm gonna
Ashley's-
entangle it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
So,
rapiers out. I'm ready.
Is everyone ready at this point?
Yeah, I think so.
Everyone's
Right?
ready? Okay.
Jorg and Oren, you guys where you want to be?
Oh yeah.
And then Murray has a, okay. Merle, whatever. Okay. So we're gonna entangle, but hold on 1 second. That's entangle, yeah, spell DC is 15.
You should be able to
And you-
entangle him if he's sleeping, right?
Right? Like, is that automatic, or do you still need me to roll
What, let me
for
see.
the spell?
So he might be considered incapacitated, right, at the moment? Or
Yeah,
unconscious?
yep, he is incapacitated right now.
Okay, so
So
he would have to, because he's sleeping, does he still have to make the, strength check?
Well, he's gonna have to make it when he wakes up. So right
When he
now,
wakes
are
up,
you
but like,
casting it? Are you
I
casting
cast it. Yeah, I casted it.
So
at
you
him.
can see these like roots start to grow up through the ground and start to wrap around its limbs. And you're looking and you're like, that is just the strangest thing. It has 8 of these like thick, scaly, just like legs. They're all curled up as it's sleeping, and it's just wrapping it up. It's wrapping around its head, wrapping around everything.
Okay. And I go, Oren, it's your turn.
So I literally cast let's see. I think it would be
Not Ice
frostbite.
Knife. Okay.
No, not ice knife. It explodes and wakes him
Imagine.
up.
Kills
Too
everyone,
soon.
wakes him up.
Too soon.
So yeah, dude, really.
Okay.
Good topic.
All right. Let's make a Constitution saving throw. It takes 1d6 cold damage. All right. So let's make its con save.
I'd say probably when we see, because if he didn't wake up from the roots, but we see Oren preparing a spell, I'd kind of like nod towards Bliss at that time to like strike at the same time.
Yeah,
guys,
and it's
what
gonna
are
be
you
more
doing?
from behind the head, trying to go. He's gonna go for the right eye. I'm going for the left,
Mm-hmm.
just because we don't want to be face to face. If it opens, we're kind of
Rolled a
fucked.
10. So it failed the con save. It's going to take 1d6. I'll roll it. Cold damage. It's going to take 2 cold damage. So let me roll. First, everybody roll initiative.
Poor Basilisk.
So do Mike and I get our actions off?
First.
Yeah.
We're going to run a surprise round.
Oh, okay, got it.
All right. What's our Hope? What is it?
I have a 9.
Right. Yorig.
16.
Gosh, there's a 0. We'll just I forgot to remove him from the thing. Zula.
16.
16. Oren.
Got a 4.
Bliss.
45.
What?
45.
25. Damn. Okay.
Do you want me to roll for Merle?
I'm just doing his initiative,
Okay.
so we
Got it.
get rid of Kashta. Alright. Hold on. Stand by. Where the heck is it? All right. Oh, it's not playing. Is it not playing? There we go. All right. So now it needs to make the strength saving throw to get out of the vines, right?
Yes.
So its strength save is. All right. It's a +2.
Just made it.
All right. So it just.
Oh, hold on.
Ah! What's
It,
that?
I was just gonna say, I think. Okay. So the
right.
plants wilt away at this point.
And you can see, like, all of you see that it's starting to wake up and like grip the ground. And you can see the thorns just like the vines start to rip. All right, who's up first? That's gonna be Bliss. Bliss, what are you doing?
Yeah, still going with the original plan. Rapier in hand, trying to expertly carve out the eye without jagging too far, like to get close to the brain because we still want him alive. So
It's still-
penetrating enough to carve the eye, but not do lethal damage.
Gotcha. All right, so you do get an advantage because he's still restrained or grappled.
All right. So I'm still rolling for attack on this, or
Yep.
what?
10.
Oh my
9.
god!
It just like nicks off of his eyebrow, and as it turns around and looks, you can see along the side of its head 6 other eyelids open, and he glares at you, like starts looking at you with 8 blue eyes.
Well, that was fun. As a bonus action, I'll be reaching into my coat or up my sleeve with my other free hand, and just dropping a card on top of his head where those eyeballs just appeared open.
All right.
Whoa.
Was there an advantage on that or no?
Yes, it is, because I still got that jump on him.
Nice.
So all right, so you get the crit, so that's going to be you're doubling the die, not the straight
Oh,
damage.
dang! All right, let's do this.
So it's 4d6 sneak attack, and then it's going to be 2d4 for the card, and then whatever the card number is.
And plus 6.
6.
Yes.
So that's 18, 23. 23 points of damage. All right.
So much for not doing damage to this beast.
He also just
All right.
No way.
opened up 8 eyes. I'm gonna
This
verbally.
magical. There's this magical
Probably
blast as
that.
the card just erupts, and you can see bits of scale just blow out of the way, and you can see its eyes are just raw. Some of them are leaking. Its face is just charred on one side of its head. All right, next up in the order is going to be Yorig.
Yeah, sticking to the original plan, not knowing what to do. I think everything's going well, so I'm just gonna take a nice little like fighting stance and maybe just like airbox a little bit because I have nothing else to do. But I'm gonna use my bonus action to have my little Eldritch Cannon just like scurry on over to Bliss and point directly at Bliss for the time being.
Okay, is that your turn?
Yeah,
Just
for my
so I
turn.
know, that was upstairs. Did we go with the original plan, or is there something else going on?
So
or-
what? So you guys, Ashley cast the entangle spell on it. It's currently just in the process of breaking out of all these vines. Mike whiffed the hit and just like nicked its face, and then one eye opened up, and then 3 more opened up on the same side of its head. So it has 8 eyes. It doesn't have one. One set. All right. Next up is going to be Zula.
I'm gonna do entangled again to try to keep him restrained.
All right.
Okay,
Double restrained.
doubles restrained. Well, while he's trying to get out, it just like regrows. What the freak? Okay, hold on.
You want to try?
All right, so it's gonna make its strength check again.
Well, 26 hit. My spell.
Well, I don't think you have a.
Oh, I don't have to? Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
I gotcha. It rolled a 4, so it definitely.
It's
though,
entangled.
as it's pulling off and it's breaking the original thorns away and vines away, they just kind of and they just like whip completely across its back and just boom, pull it so its belly hits the ground.
So that means that it will stay entangled up until its next turn.
Okay.
And then and then it has to do a save again.
All right. Next
Actually,
up.
is it my? Yeah, I think it's his turn. I'll double check though.
Okay. Loreno, you're up.
So I'll quickly look at the group and just shout like, "We only need 2." And then I would use my bonus action to cast Hexblade's Curse, just to go over that again. Oh, I'm on Merle's sheet. Just kidding. Pretty much gives me a +2 to damage rolls, and I crit on a 19 or 20.
Right.
And then I regain hit points. And then I'm gonna use my action to attack him with the my short sword, looking to try to carve out one of the eyes if I can.
All right, you have advantage on the because he's grappled right now.
Okay. Yeah, so I look back at him, and I actually wanted to do this because it's in my notes. Kind of like pulling out my blade or having the blade ready right before I stab down. I just call out, "I'm the bone of my sword. Steel is my body. Fire is my blood." And I strike through. That's a 20.
That is a hit.
And that would be 10 points of piercing damage.
All right. You jag your blade into its eye, and it just catches right at the edge of where its snout is, and you're able to get behind it, and pop! It pops out, and this thick blue ichor just sprays all over its face and all over your arm, and its eye just kind of like flies up in the air, and you're able to reach up and catch it.
All right.
Is that your turn?
Yeah, I'm staying right next to it.
I would say, okay, next is the Suavian Basilisk. Suavane Basilisk. And I would say it's reasonable to believe that if you're going to be doing something as precise as cutting out its eye, you're going to be looking at it. So I need you... What's that?
I would agree, yeah.
I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Naturally. Ooh, I'm scared, guys. 16. Sorry, I rolled with advantage.
Oh, it's okay. You just beat it. All right. You can feel like this tenseness just like build up like in your joints and your bones, and you're able to just like grit through it. And at this point, it's going to use its action to try to break free of the stuff. It rolls a 5. It's still restrained.
Nice.
Next up is going to be
Way to go,
Merle.
Zula.
Andrew, you're
Merle's
Alright,
up.
so Merle,
gonna
it's your
be-
turn.
Okay. So I'm trying to figure out where was I before this?
We were at the beginning of the cave, and now we walked into the room where the basilisk is.
You're set up right here, where I'm pinging on the map.
Okay. Because I guess I was gonna distract it. I'm just wondering if that's what happened when I left.
It was asleep when we went in.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. Okay. So now it's just like free for all. The plan's not happening anymore.
Well, we have one
a
eyeball.
distraction might help. I mean, we still have to
Okay.
somehow get this thing out of here.
Yeah.
Who has the
alive.
mirror?
You have the mirror. You and Jorgen.
Okay. And it seems like Nick just got one of the eyes. Was looking at it. Yeah. Well, I I would like to distract it. Use my chance to, because now it's facing towards Hope. It seems like, right?
Yeah, its head just whipped back after just like it's thrashing back and forth right now. It just had its eye put out. It's not looking at anybody in particular. It's just thrashing about.
Okay. It still might help to have a distraction. So perhaps I'm gonna go on the other side of everybody else. And then, well, if they're all on the left side, I want to go on the right side, obviously. And I'm not sure. It's been a while since I saw the D&D book, but I know distract is an action. I'm not really sure how it operates, though. Dave or Nick, maybe you guys could
It'd be the help
elaborate.
action, right?
What's up?
It'd be the help action, probably.
Isn't there a distract action?
There's no distract action to be like you're helping somebody, you're giving somebody advantage. But I want to do something interesting. How are you distracting it?
I was thinking of maybe because I'm afraid of damaging it, so I was thinking of let's see what I had throwing rocks or something at it, or I wanted to see if I had like some kind of spell that could distract, but I don't really have any spells. Yeah, I don't want to hurt it.
Okay.
So maybe, oh, my explorer's pack. Maybe I could take stuff out of there and just start throwing it at it.
All right. Okay.
then-
I got you.
yeah.
I want you to make a performance check.
Okay.
Also, Dave, how big of a head do you think the basilisk has? Like, would it fit
Is
into a sack or like a bag?
The head.
Yeah.
Its skull is about 4 feet long.
Holy Okay.
I don't know how we're getting this.
And during this
So-
time, I want to use the mirror. I'm looking in the mirror to look at the basilisk.
All right, gotcha. So you're I can see like, all right, you have the mirror, you're holding it up, you're looking at the basilisk, and you're reaching in the bag. You're just like kind of like throwing stuff. You're just like you're trying to get a distraction on it, but it's just like, bing, bing, boom, bing, boom. Everything's just like flying all over the place, and this thing is just thrashing back and forth, and this like thick blood is just spraying out. You didn't draw its attention, but you didn't hurt anything either.
Oh, okay. All right.
Could I say he drew the attention of Bliss, knowing this is an highly experienced archer? He's just throwing pans.
Next up is gonna be Orin.
So here's what I'm debating, and again, I'm going a little bit more meta because I'm a little confused as to what was trying to be done with the mirrors, because I didn't want to turn this thing to stone, but I also need it alive.
So what they're doing is they're holding it so at an angle so they can look at the mirror, like, and use the reflection of they can look at the basilisk through its reflection. So they're not looking directly at it.
Oh, I see.
Straight from Harry Potter, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
Man, dude, I didn't watch none of them movies, dude. No. So what I'm thinking is that, I would need to move to use an action, right? Action is
You just use your movement. You have a movement action bonus action.
okay. So I'm going to use my movement to position myself by this mushroom. I'm going to reach into my pack. I'm going to deploy my hunting trap in order to.
Oh.
Okay.
So I'm going to take this a giant, like what I'm assuming is like a pressure plate bear trap.
Yeah.
I'm gonna open it up, and I'm hoping that with the rule of cool, you can allow me to toss it at this thing's feet, at least like right here. Either that or I can set it. I can just use this action to set it.
I would say tossing it would be a stretch, but I think that to romp to it real quick, pull out your sack, and just like strike the stake into the ground real quick. I think we can go with that as your action.
Sure.
All right, cool.
So I'm gonna. Is there any way to play it on the chat? Hunting trap.
Hunting trap? Let me see if I can find it.
What, you thought I should have used ice knife instead, Nick?
No, I love the idea. I just don't think there's a way to get hunting trap to show on the thing.
Like a big bear trap.
I'm in love with the idea.
Dude.
Especially because he's entangled, so if he moves, he'll like move right into it.
As
which
I'm
will be
thinking
amazing.
of a way to
There it is.
of a way to get this thing incapacitated
Yeah.
so that we can transport it with ease. So
All right.
I have entrapped it, or have
All right.
attempted to entrap it.
Back up at the top is going to be Bliss.
After seeing Hope successfully do what I couldn't, knowing we just need one more, again, going in with that rapier, is this still an advantage because he's incapacitated?
Yeah.
Going for that same larger eye that I originally went for with the rapier. Let's go. Ba-ba-ba-ba.
It's definitely a hit.
Sweet! Give me that eye!
All right, roll your
Uh,
damage.
Oh, yeah. 12 piercing.
And then sneak attack,
All right.
you got advantage.
And then, yep,
Oh,
2d6.
Coming at ya. 8. So 20 points total.
All right. So, Bliss, you like lean your shoulder into him, and you take your rapier and you like pop it right out, and you're able to like as you're popping it out, grab it with your hand. But you can't help but direct. You're looking at this thing, so you're most likely gonna have to have a check once it's its turn. But you got its eye successfully out of its head. All right.
I get my bonus action.
What's your bonus action?
Because this guy's pretty beefy. I don't think he's going to die. Pulling out yet another card. I think it's going to be a really good one and help us out a lot. Because this isn't just your average game of poker. Inside this deck is a deadly hidden joker. And I'm going to slap that on its head.
All right. What are we doing?
Oh, nice.
Alright, so that's going to be rolling for another one with the arcane cards.
It's a crit.
And then
Oh, nice.
that's going to be 8 plus 2. The Joker's 15. But the main thing is going to be creature takes maximum damage, falls into a fit of laughter. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw. And if it doesn't, it falls prone, becomes incapacitated, unable to stand up until the end of my next turn.
So what's total damage?
It's amazing.
10, 25.
You can see this thing is now like out of breath, and it has to make a wisdom saving throw now.
Correct.
13. What's the saving? What's the DC on that?
8 plus my charisma mod.
8 plus your charisma mod. All right. So what is that?
What is that, 13?
It just meets your saving throw. So if it passes the saving throw, it doesn't happen.
Then it just takes the maximum damage.
All right, gotcha. All right, cool. So now it just erupts, and you can see that a huge chunk of flesh
Wait,
basically just.
sorry. It's 8 plus charisma mod plus proficiency bonus. My proficiency bonus is 2. It does not succeed.
Okay. So it blows a huge chunk off of this thing, this magical eruption from this card. It falls prone, and it's incapable of laughing. It's like it just can't like catch its wind. It's just hissing, and it stopped thrashing. But there is thick blood just leaking everywhere out of this thing. Next up is going to be Jorg.
So Yurik's kind of confused on why we're like beating this animal senselessly when that's not part of the deal. But I've been crafting this entire time while they were trying to take these eyes out, like a top out of a gear, and kind of like a Beyblade. If you guys know what Beyblades are,
Hell yeah.
I put a pat of butter on top of this gear, and I just rip it out, and it goes directly towards the monster underneath the basculets, and it's ping-ponging off of every little branch that's entwined with, and it's just spewing butter everywhere, so it's the grease spell.
Yeah, dude, I love that. Dude, that's awesome, man. Okay,
So
cool.
it is going
now
ping,
it's
ping,
just
ping,
like,
ping, 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 and the butter's just fucking going everywhere underneath this monster.
with it being restrained, being prone, like unable to catch its breath,
So much
and it's
CT.
like it's like trying to like stand up, but it can't. There's like butter everywhere. Like Merle is like hits it bing, with another pan. Like it's just like and it just comes to a rest. With-
Merle would like to whisper something real quick.
but
Je me débère dans une douche.
Exactly.
So it's laying there with just 7 hit points remaining.
So I have as a bonus action, I take this gear out of my chest pocket, which controls the Eldritch Cannon, and I'm just rotating this gear, so it's going to rotate the Eldritch Cannon directly at the monster and give it a nice blast.
Well, do we want to kill it thow?
Yeah. I was gonna say,
Oh,
do you
well,
wanna
I'm
do
sorry.
that?
Are you
What are you
assuming this
doing?
cannon does damage right now? Shut up, guys.
Oh no, you almost killed the dog. So.
I mean, you just like this gnome just like wheeling this It's like, good.
So the cannon shoots off a big blast towards the monster.
Sounds
And this is a Eldritch Cannon Protector. So it gets 1d8 plus 5 temporary hit points.
The monster does?
If you're in a 10-foot radius
Oh.
of the blast.
Oh, that's nice.
So now you can see like its wounds are kind of starting to get gummy and tacky. It's no longer like bleeding crazy. And it just like its breath is just like now you have just
Tie a cloth over the rest of its.
Yeah, I was
Head
gonna
and
say, are we
eyes.
still in initiative?
combat is suspended right now.
Yeah, I'd quickly let's tie rope somebody.
Yeah, I take out 50 feet of hempen rope and I start to unless sloth.
Well, I was gonna say, so I'm still concentrating on this. Do you guys want me to take away the entanglement so that you can wrap him?
It seems like he's pooped. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I shut down my entanglement.
So
Okay.
I
While the
think,
tying up is going on, I ask Hope for the other eye, so I can hold on to both of them.
Yeah, I gladly give it away to you.
I'm gonna put them in my coin pouch, so you can hear the rattle of the coin, and the eyes are in there too now.
Yeah.
Gonna come in handy later. Don't worry.
I don't think go to the staff. Yeah, that's sick.
I come
So-
over to like help out with wrapping.
All right, so you're tying up all these legs. It's a complicated process because it has 8 legs. It has this enormous body. So it's successfully bound. Its legs are tied up. It has a thick thrashing tail that has also been secured. How are you guys getting this out?
I look towards Merle because I think I have crap for strength. So I'm like looking around. I was like, I think this is gonna be a team effort.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Wait, I look to the gnome, who I just kind of noticed for the first time. And,
That's nice of you that you don't see height.
yeah, exactly. And I go, that was mighty impressive there, little friend. That was great. Never in all my life of hunting have I ever seen something so astounding, my friend.
I mean, there's the tinkerer in your town. He does the same things that I do, except he goes on long-winded. Well, you know, probably. He just talks
Oh.
too much.
Yes, well, I do hate talking, but I'm thinking with that butter contraption, is there any way that I'm not a man of the world, but I do know that butter is rather slippery. If we could butter our way out of the cave, and then push or pull the basilisk with it.
Now,
Do the grease spell all the way.
I love tinkering, but I don't think there's enough butter even in your town to butter this cave.
That was from the story you had told me before, the end of Daisies.
Yes, that's right. You remember that one. I must have been 11 years old. That's right. And that's why every year in Whalehaven, we butter our children up and we slide them around town. And that's part of our ancient tradition. So if there's any way that we can... How much butter do you have left? Could we butter up the basilisk and just push him around?
Actually, let me see. Can I get oil?
Sure.
That's great. I would help you so much. I'm like...
So I can just feel like everybody just like... just wiping butter all over this. This vessel.
Oh, God.
Is that what we're
Oil
doing? Yeah.
boys for the wrestlers.
Oh, there's no way I have that much butter on me. Like, no.
Well,
Don't you have
we
the
still
alchemy,
have the
Doug?
butter from the grease spell that's on the ground. We can just like
roll him like a corn.
exactly
Like,
like a corn on the cob.
Oh, my God.
Doesn't your alchemy jug have grease?
Oh my
So
god.
I see
it has
Hope
oil in
starting
it.
to do that, and I just start helping him. I'm like, that's a great idea, Hope.
I was thinking either we go with the absurd corn on the cob idea, which is amazing, or I can use grasp of the poltergeist to like drag him 30 feet. I
Why
don't
not
know
both?
if that's.
yeah,
But you know what?
Yeah.
Perfect.
How many uses do you have? You might be able to just pull them right out.
yeah.
It's let me.
I realize that we only have a day to do this, so I'm desperate. Any idea you guys have? I'm like, that's great. Let's do it. Let's go.
I'm pretty sure poltergeist is a free action.
Yeah.
Oh, it's charisma modifier.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's your charisma mod?
My charisma mod is it's 4 and 18.
Okay, so
Yeah, but is this gonna do damage every time he does it?
No.
Just pulls.
Nice. So I just pull this greasy sumbitch right out of here.
All right. It's got to make a charisma saving throw.
Boy,
It's -2.
it's just like 20,000.
13.
-2. Oh wait. What does it have to beat
your spell
Your spell save.
first? Not even close. It's a 14.
Not even close.
Not even
close,
So-
but it's
baby.
So now this this basilisk is just bound, and everybody just kind of just like
Buttered
greasing and just like
Here.
buttered it all up, and you're all just like pushing it as Orin is just kind of just like pulling this thing as it's like just pissed, just being pulled through this tunnel like a slippery, just like just going all the way out, and then
Greasy hot dog.
you guys are pushing this slippery basilisk out through the tunnel, up the hill, and that's where the the shepherd is waiting for you guys. And he just like looks up over his pot of foreskin, and he looks and he just sees this mound of just like basilisk flesh just bound in ropes, just like being pushed up the hill and just like glistening in the sunlight, just like the butter.
Being greased.
and he
Slightly
looks,
cooking.
he comes over and he like stands up and he runs 3 of his 6 arms over its back and like he's. I see that you are able to uphold your side of the bargain. Very well.
More than that. And then I'm gonna
We've
jingle
got him.
my coin purse. We got everything.
He left the basilisk ready to be deep fried if you wanted him to.
It will feed the herd for an entire month. Thank you. Yes, where are the lower eyes?
And that's when I'm gonna jingle the coins even more and be like, this is gonna be much better. And as I'm jingling the coins, trying to get more and more of his attention, I'm gonna show him the eyes. Do the eyes do anything if he looks at them?
They're, he looks at them, they don't do anything. They're just eyeballs. But,
You said they have an. Alright, never mind then.
well, I'm sure they could be a component of a magic item. They might not do anything by themselves.
Like placing
Okey-dokey.
them in that staff, for
Yeah,
instance.
and then
Agreed. Hand them over. He opens up his, like, 3-fingered claw to grab the, basilisk eyes.
I believe you
I'm
will
not gonna drop him just yet, and I'm gonna wait for him to keep his other side of the deal.
Yeah. I would
Very
say,
well.
Yeah.
And he like whistles, like with these weird fangs, and the spiders just really slow and meticulously climb up the trees, and they start cutting down the bodies and just slowly dragging them out, laying them, leaving probably like 10 or 15 ones that aren't moving that are still hanging. They look like they're deceased, and then there's 12 that were still moving that have just been laid out in a line for you guys.
So I run over and I start like taking my short axe and I like just like snipping all of the desiccation around them.
Same.
Like all
Yeah, I do the
the
same
wrapping.
thing, looking for my wife.
Yeah, speeding
All right.
through.
Gotcha. Where are the eyes?
I'm looking back at the group, seeing if they're all satisfied. You guys good?
Do we find-
My
We're
wife,
fine.
I'm just ripping at the face, right? So I'm ripping at the
Yeah.
face to see which one have I found my wife yet?
Oh,
Dude.
shorty.
Function.
Damn, how'd you land that one?
Wait, I missed it. What's going on?
It sounds like
Oh, fuck.
How'd your
bro.
wife get that wrong?
So you tear off.
You're using the commander from Clone Wars.
Here he is. I tried to throw that in there for you, buddy.
It on the map. That's so
Are you
funny.
kidding? And then there's the trench behind him. Admiral Trench is his name. Like, Jesus Christ. Anywho,
So funny. I was looking at the Discord the entire time at your faces. That's so funny. That's so
So-
funny. Okay, so she's released though, right?
she's released, and he's
Is she-
expecting the eyes.
yeah,
She's in
so-
good health.
Yeah, now we would look back at
Let's drop
Bliss and
him the
like,
eyes.
nod.
And with his 3 claws thingies, I'm just gonna drop him right in there.
Thank you. And he takes them and he puts them in his little satchel. He picks up his stick, and he walks back to his tent, and he says, "You get 1 free passage through and back."
All right.
I reunite with my wife, obviously. I'm ecstatic. Baby, please, I miss you. I love you so much. Oh my god. All that stuff.
You changed accents. You were so ecstatic, dude.
Yeah.
That's right.
Amazing.
Oh yeah, yep. That's me.
And that's where we're going to end the session now. This Merle holding Bridget in his heartfelt embrace as you guys make the final deal with the ornery shepherd and look past across the trench towards the lower basin of the valley where Hemeth lays. And that's all I have for you guys for tonight. That
I would
is
just like to thank everybody, a heartfelt thank you to everybody in the crew. I'm like, thank you so much for helping me find my wife.
Yeah. Are you making a cake over there, Andrew, or like are
Yeah.
you building a small table, or?
No, I have my gimbal, and I'm doing a shoot tomorrow, and I need to transport it, so I'm trying to basically just cut it out so I can put it in.
Oh, nice.
I
Andrew
thought
films
Andrew was
people
stabbing
as
himself in his leg
I know,
for a
right?
while.
He's like.
And it's blurred out. I'm like, shit, he's just stabbing himself.
So Andrew, we do something at the end of the session where we go around real quick. Everybody spends 30 seconds, 45 seconds telling the viewers what their favorite part, what their most exciting part was, what their least favorite part was, what their expectations were, yada yada, of the session. And I usually think of some sort of gimmick or something to pick them, but we're not going to. You know what? Who hasn't gone first yet?
I gotta get out of here.
You got to get out of here, Dill.
Yeah, I gotta get my
makes
stuff ready for tomorrow.
All right, Dill. So tell me what you thought.
But super excited Andrew was here today because honestly, that was the best part of how he came part of our group. It's like, oh, you guys ask great questions. That's what I love about your group is now that I'm a part of this group, that's a great question. Here's how we get answers. I'm like, what the fuck is he saying right now? But no, that was cool to have. We have a one-parter or a new member just join in for that one session. It was like it came in pretty handy just for that one little task that we had to complete. So it's gonna be interesting to see actually what happens with Hemith and why the hell there's two temples and all this other stuff going on.
Yeah. Ash?
I was very excited that I had the right spell slots tonight because I feel like that helped us out in the beginning, which was awesome. And yeah, it was fun to have Andrew, be like a little bit of it tonight and have like some like different takes and have our characters act like very similar but also like slightly different just to like make that connection. And I think it went just really smoothly.
Andrew, what about you?
Yeah, I had such a blast. Sorry, I had to leave twice. My father just had knee surgery, so I needed to like help him up the stairs and stuff. But I love you all dearly. You're all my best friends. I had so much fun. And I think my favorite part, though, I mean, the adventure was great. The adventure was really, really robust, and it was very quick. I'm surprised we got through so much in 3 hours. I'm really amazed by that. You're a great DM, Dave. I think that you led it along, and the story was engaging the entire time. Admiral Trench was great. Dude, that's so funny. I didn't even see that. I wish I saw that earlier. But
Yeah.
I loved it. I think my favorite part, though, the fight with the basilisk was fun. I think the encounter with the spiders was my second favorite. My first favorite was Hope, just sympathizing with this fucking nut job, for like a little bit and just listening to his weird ass stories. And then yeah, it was fantastic. I loved it. I think that it came full circle too at the end. He always like a full circle story. So that was it.
Awesome. Thanks, bud. What about you, Mike?
Yeah, like Andrew was saying, we moved really, really fast. Like that's probably the fastest we moved through a story section, and like everything went so seamlessly with like high rolls when we needed to, like perfect positions when like needed to, like having things sleeping right away. Everything just worked out. Favorite part? There's a couple. I mean, just having Andrew's ranting of total nonsense is always humorous to hear. So it's always like refreshing from like, oh, the town's in shambles. Well, back in my town, like we had this ancient tradition where we buttered all their children. So it's always like, it's comical to get that refreshing nonsense in there, especially when we're dealing with so many unknowns. And now more Harry Potter themes are coming up. So
Yeah, that was cool. That was great with
trying
the
to
mirror.
piece together what you're going with Hermit, whatever his name is.
Hemith?
Yeah. Hemith.
Nick Targonsky.
The harshest critic. So no, I thought it was awesome. I was a little hesitant upon hearing that Andrew was gonna come, but it was, I think he, like everyone else, I think he provided a lot of comic relief, and when I tried to engage in his character genuinely, he reciprocated that really well. So And the story I thought was really well done. The pacing was phenomenal, and I'm excited to get past this bridge.
Nick.
I have a perfectly viable owlbear egg, and no one will take it from me. It's my new time. I will raise him as one of my own. No, really, I really want to see how far I can get with this owlbear egg. So, it's like to have an owlbear familiar, I would kick so much wholesale ass, dude. But I really thought that it was great. Yeah, again, it was all sort of a self-contained story within the 3 or so hours we were playing. I think we're past normally where we would end, but that is a good thing because I enjoyed every minute of this session, and we not only did really well like combat-wise, but we did well with cohesive teamwork and using our mind brains. So
I agree.
fuck you, spiders! Woo!
I do have to say that Tim was dearly missed, though, as much as we love you, Andrew.
Yeah, Tim. I
Tim was
love when I listen to the streams. Tim is great. Just whenever I hear his accent, it's just like, sorry, Nick, it blows your Australian accent out of the water.
Yeah, no, seriously. No, he does a really good job with Kasha. And Kasha, I think, is like such a unique character. I was kind of saying in the break that, like, you know, he still needed to do things today because he has such, like, again, a unique character.
Yeah, it's great. No, it was a lot of fun. Thanks for having me, guys. I'm glad I could help
problem,
out.
buddy.
It was so much fun.
I'm glad you had fun, buddy. Well,
Yeah.
I guess we're gonna call it there, and Nick's gonna hit that button that turns off the camera.
Do we have an idea of our here still?
It's up in the air.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Bye, guys.